Hi, my name is John Johnson. I'm a Fordham College at Lincoln Center graduate from 2002. I was a theater management major, an individualized major combining theater and business. And currently I am a teacher here at Fordham, teaching a class on creative producing. So the way that I got started in the commercial theater was I was a student here at Fordham University in this very same black box theater, which looks way nicer than it did then. And the chair of the department, who was my advisor, Larry Saccharo, said to me, if you want to learn the business of theater, you have to work with Liz McCann. He had directed the original production of Three Tall Women that Liz produced, and he set me up with an interview there, and I got the internship. And it was the first year that Liz was producing the Tony Awards as the managing producer of the Tonys, and it essentially became my sort of grad school for theater, even though I was obviously an undergrad. The experience of working on the Tony Awards gave me an opportunity to kind of see the entire industry as a whole, working with various different offices, working with CBS, working with the American Theater Wing, working with the Broadway League. And it just allowed me to get a full landscape of the business, as well as just be a part of really exciting nights. The first Tonys that I ever worked on was the night that the producers won 12 Tony Awards. So that was a really just kind of crazy time. Also getting to be a part of the Avenue Q Beating Wicked Tonys, the part of the Spring Awakening Tonys. Like each of those years were very exciting years as the theater was evolving, especially for Broadway. And then we went into another phase of our career where the office started doing a ton of volume of shows, whether it was Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder, or Hello Dolly, or a ton of great play revivals like Three Tall Women, funnily enough, full circle moment there for sure, the first time it was on Broadway. And then in 2019, my business partner Sue Wagner and I decided to go out on our own and create our own producing and management shop that just celebrated its 5-year anniversary. And even with the pandemic, cutting us off 6 months into it, we've had a great last couple of years, including last year's triumph with Stereophonic. I think the way that I like to teach and the way that I like to encourage conversation is by challenging challenging the students, whether it's myself challenging the students, where it's the students challenging each other. That is the most important thing, and I think constructive, creative conversation is the way to learn. It's something that I learned from when I was here at Fordham from the late great Morgan Janess in theater history class, and the way that she spent the majority of her time not telling the students what to learn, but rather have them talk about the text, talk about productions, etc., was the way to really encourage great learning. I think that the thing that I would want the students to continue to do after the class is to continue to challenge themselves, challenge the way that they look at theater, challenge the way that they see theater, challenge themselves to see different types of theater, as well as challenge the way that they talk about theater with each other, as well as the greater theater community at large. I think what's essential is that they are learning about every single aspect of theater, whether it's if you're an actor, you need to know about directing and producing and promoting and advertising the show. If you're a director, you need to know about playwriting and the technical elements. I think the more that you can know about every single aspect of it is the most important thing. I think it's not only important, it's vital, because you learn the way that you learn producing, and I would argue the way that you learn anything in the theater is in real world situations. And even if you're an intern that's simply answering the phones, helping out with tasks at the theater, etc., listening to the conversations that are happening within the office, listening to people as they talk about theater, and also experiencing theater, being there at whether it be the opening night party or the invited dress rehearsal, is just the way that you need to learn. Because everyone's journey is different. No one's path is the same path when it comes to producing the theater. And so therefore, having students hear the nature of someone's path, whether they're a producer in London or a producer on Broadway or an assistant on Broadway, is just a vital thing to hear. I think it resonates with younger audiences because it's the first play that I've read in a long time, if not a very long time, where the dialogue sounds like actual high school students. It does not sound like what a 50-year-old man or woman thinks what high school students sound like. It's extremely of the moment and extremely, I think the way that the story is told with the pop culture references and the way that it's telling a serious subject, but also being very funny and also having the feeling of kind of like a rock concert all mixed in between, just is showing what younger audiences want on Broadway. The nature of going to school in New York City and being a part of the theater community, whether or not you're working within the theater community, is an incredible thing, because you're seeing shows on Broadway, you're seeing shows off Broadway, you're seeing the shows here in Kehoe, you're seeing the stuff on Popotorium stages, and there's just a nature of doing a certain number of reps, whereas other schools that aren't having the city as their campus, it's just the shows within the walls of the university. Whereas here, you can get a job like some of our fellow students are on shows actively while they're still students. And I think it just gives the experiential nature of working in the theater a much more in-depth way for the students to be a part of it. Come see John Proctor's The Villain playing at the Booth Theater, now on Broadway.